Good afternoon, MLB Pro peeps. I'm your Oakland A's GM, Scott Guessford, and here I am with Mr. John Heinz. And John, you got some interesting paraphernalia behind you. I know people are not going to see it, but I can see it.
I know they're not going to see the magic of radio. Will stop them from seeing it. But behind me is my dad's Super Bowl jersey from Super Bowl 7, and then I've got like a little Giants sign over there. You can't see it. I've got a little Buster Posey bobblehead. I've got a base from AT&T Park. I've got all sorts of good sports stuff hanging out in my office.
Well, why don't you have Will Clark? I mean, he's your manager. You should have something of his in your office.
I need to get some Will Clark. I do have a Will Clark signed card. I do have that, but it's very small and it's way up there. So I got some. Yeah.
Awesome. That's the way to go. So how are you this evening?
Doing good, staying busy for sure. Work's a bear. It's nice to take some time away from work and think about MLB Pro for a little while and not the wonderful world of promotional products. So this is great.
There you go. Exactly. So let's start off by recashing 2022 a little bit. And for a rebuilding Giants team, how did that go for you and, all that?
I mean, it was pretty crummy for sure. I think it wasn't the most fun season, but I think in a way, when I switched over from the Rays to the Giants, I don't know how many people must reach out like, yeah, that's going to take a while. That's quite a task. The team was in complete disarray, like talent-wise, money-wise, coaching-wise, depth-wise, you name it. So it was fun. That's what I wanted. I have no problem with that. But it's tough to lose. I think I lost 101 games or something. Like that's no one's idea of a good time to show up at the sim every day and, oh, hey, I lost another one, 7-2. Awesome. But I think, in a way, it gives you some freedom when you're going to be terrible to do stuff and be like, I wonder what happens if I take 10 Rule 5 draft picks.
Right. And then you can focus on the minors and look at them and get happiness from all that.
Exactly. Yeah. So I know my minors a lot better than I did a year ago. That's for sure.
There you go. And you made kind of a trade that some people might have rolled their eyes at or thought differently of when you took on. Who did you take on? You took on Tink Jones and somebody else, and you got Torkelson.
I took on Tink Jones. I took on Aurelio Rivera, who I tried to waive last week and no one claimed. I took on Tyler Pill, who's a decent reliever. And for my trouble, I got Torkelson and a minor league pitcher. And I gave up like some 4A outfielder too. But it was one of those, it wasn't really my plan. But the White Sox kept putting Torkelson out there. And I was like, well, I wonder how much money it would take, basically. And so it worked out well. I'm really excited about Torkelson. The offseason, he's been training hard. Things are looking good. The guys I got, Tink Jones, he can still hit a little bit. Rivera's still got a glove. Tyler Pill, he's a solid like swing man. So I didn't mind it. Kind of the way I looked at it was, we're gonna stink anyways. Like there's no other easy way to get a player like Torkelson except for waiting for the draft, and then it's a crapshoot if they develop all that. I'll just buy one with money I shouldn't spend anyways. So let's do it that way.
Hey, and it's not your money, right? It's the owner's money.
It's the owner's money. Hey, he gave me a budget. I am within my budget. That's my only responsibility.
Right, that's all you care about. So let's start off by looking at your lineup, since we've talked about hitters already. How do you see your lineup stacking up, position by position? Are there going to be any spring training battles, all that kind of stuff?
It's going to be a lot. The one thing I will say that happened last year is, by having not a very good team, I acquired a number of roughly mediocre players. We're kind of jamming up the 40-man, so there's going to be a lot of battles in that regard. I'll go position by position because I just don't know where people are going to hit. But catcher, we've got probably one of my favorite Giants, Juan Janchez, who was I think I got him in the Rule 5 draft in like the 3rd round. He's just one big old eyeball. Like, he takes a ton of walks. I think he had like 2.5 WAR playing halftime last year. So he's going to split with a young guy, Russo, behind the plate. And then first base is kind of the most up in the air position. It's in the National League. I'm used to not having a designated hitter. So it'll be interesting to see, okay, the first baseman used to be my pseudo designated hitter. Like, put the guy who can't field over there. Like now I got 2 of those spots. So first go will be Logan Wyatt, who I got from the Astros in another take on a contract to pick up some prospects trade. So he's going to get a crack at it. I think he had to be on the 40 man anyways, so he's pretty much developed. Might as well see what the kid can do. Second base, I've got my little freebie player said
Yeah, that was pretty
Rutherford.
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't go into the offseason thinking, hey, you know what I need to do is get a veteran second baseman. But considering he was free, I mean, I got to pay him, but $7 million a year. I think if he was a free agent, he would get significantly more than I'm going to pay him. So to me, it was kind of a no-brainer, and he's really good. You know, the only downside is I do have a lot of second basemen. I have a lot of former St. Louis Cardinals second basemen, actually. So
Hey,
yeah, a couple of guys are gonna have to move around, but I mean, you get a guy like that, he's been pretty consistent, you know, so he's gonna probably see the most consistent playing time of anybody. Let's see, third base, I've got what's his name? Morales, who this was kind of a fun story. I picked him up off waivers, off of somebody, maybe the Cardinals even.
Cardinals,
He ended up being our all-star last year because he just raked, and then he got hurt. And I had some other guys, and so I mean, he's going to start off as the starting third baseman. I almost non-tendered him, but I was like, yeah, you know, it's kind of be bad to non-tender your only all-star to save $3 million. So I was like, I guess I gotta bring him back. But yeah, so he's going to man third. Short, we've got the reigning Gold Glove winner, Aguilar. So all he has to do is field the ball. I mean, he's not a bad hitter, but as long as he wins another Gold Glove, like, that works for me. You know, I mean, that was, you know, one of those kind of, I think I got him from the Red Sox. I'm pretty sure. I forget who I traded them. Yeah.
Yeah, Red
I think
Sox.
I traded him, what was that, Paulus or whatever. Yeah, that closer they had. It was way overpaid. And then the outfield's going to probably be the most competitive. I mean, Torkelson, he's going to probably play almost every day between left field, right field, DH, first base. I'll probably put him in somewhere unless he's fatigued. He's going to probably be in the lineup. You know, and then I kind of have some interesting guys. What's the guy got in Rule 5 last year? Hayashi. He'll probably be the DH. He's not quite up to par for what I like for outfielders. So he'll probably DH, but he'll probably see a little time at first, a little time in the outfield. He was okay last year, not as good as I thought he'd be. Then we've got, you know, some defensive guys. Just our park, we got, you know, the big triples alley. We got the expansive outfield. You got to have the center fielders with range. So there's Moniak, and then a guy I picked up in Rule 5 this year from the Angels, Christian Pache or Pash. I don't know how you say that. I think he was a real life A, but yeah. So I don't know. And then then I got my money pits, Israel Cruz and Tink Jones, who are just there to hang out. And they can both still hit, so it's not too bad.
And why not pay like $35-40 million for your right field position, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's not bad. I don't think it's that much. I'm not paying all of Tink Jones' contract. I'm only paying part of it. I could have done it if I was doing that. But yeah, I mean, I mean, we struggled to score last year. I don't think we're going to be some amazing offense all of a sudden, but I think at a number of positions, we're probably a little bit better than last year. So, I mean, it should work out, at least be better.
And when you got a division that has Arizona, the Dodgers, and Colorado right now, who are pretty much all stacked.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to be better, but I don't think we're going to be anywhere near them. I mean, you never know. Maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe we'll go like 31-2 in one-run games or something. It could happen.
There you go. or you put your worst pitcher in there and you start beating people, right?
Hey, that's an option.
There you go. Let's move over to your pitching staff.
Pitching staff's interesting. You know, I mean, we actually pitched pretty well last year. I mean, it helps being in our park. You know, it suppresses runs for sure. You know, which does affect our hitters. But you know, I added a couple nice pieces. I got Vallette basically for free from Toronto. He's hasn't been super great for the last year and a half or so, but I think he fits our park pretty well. So, you know, I think he's a good piece and he's cheap. I think he's only making like, I don't know, $5 million or something, like nothing crazy. So he's kind of a, you know, high upside pickup. And then Steven Matt's kind of a similar deal. He's just been Mr. Consistent. You know, I had him in Tampa Bay for a while, and I don't think I'm paying him much, something like $4 million. So he's going to be a little upgrade. And then, you know, we got kind of the guys we ran out there last year who were okay. Cam Martin was a Rule 5 pick last year, just kind of to see if someone who really doesn't have much movement on his pitches could work in San Francisco, and he was pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
he was probably my best starting pitcher, which I don't think is anything to write home about, but he was solid. And then, then we got Dale Graves and Dave Groves and kind of like the in between guys in the rotation. But the one thing we're waiting on is just a week or so ago, I signed Cosart for the Dodgers, so he's out till, realistically, my guess is first couple of weeks of June. I think it works out to be. So hopefully find a couple of guys who are working, slide him in there, and then that could be a nice pickup. And I like that one because I have a team option for the second year. So if he gets hurt again or he stinks, I can just send him back,
Yeah, he was one I was actually considering, like right now, like spring training was starting to put a minor league offer into him to see if he would take that. But
yeah, I was early. I had a bid on him probably for a month before he signed it. Like I had the same offer, and then he did the whole no, I'm not. That's not enough money. And then like a week went by, and he's like, hey, now that I thought about it, maybe so then he came back. So yeah, so I mean, it worked out well. I mean, I got to spend the money on something.
It seemed like it was a long. It seemed like it was a long off season this year with guys really free agents not like answering people. Or coming back and saying, "Hey, haha, that sucks," and then coming back later going, "Oh,
it's always slower than I think it's gonna be." Like I was in on Posey for a while, and then I think the Reds got him, beat me. Carosi, obviously, he was a giant for like an hour and a half there until technical glitches caused him to become a Blue Jay. But it is what it is. I don't mind. It was kind of one of those things. If I gotten Carosi, I wouldn't have Cosart. I would have had, a $14 million reliever and a $7 million starter. I just did it the other way around because I signed Almont, my man from Tampa Bay, for the bullpen.
Right. So let's talk about your bullpen. How do you see your bullpen stacking up? And do you normally carry 12 pitchers, 13 pitchers? I mean, what's normally your philosophy on that?
I mean, probably carry. Well, definitely 12. I like to only carry 12 if I can. If I have guys who can throw some innings. And this way this team is, we should have some guys who can go a while. I know Dave Bland, he was my closer last year. He'll probably be the closer again. He was almost an all-star. It was down to like either going to be Morales or Bland, depending on how the NL roster shook out. And he had a good year last year. I think, for saving 33 games for a team that only wins 61 or whatever, like that's not too bad, and whenever I look at the game wants to make him a starter, but doesn't really work. It's not really my style. I don't like the 5-inning starters if I can avoid it. So he's pretty darn good. So he's going to be the closer. And then I got Almont, who is, if he stays healthy, he's always been pretty good, and he'll probably do setup and split with Hawkins, who's another, he had a good year last year, so I mean, I think I've got the makings of a good bullpen. And then I kind of have a lot of mix and match guys. Lefties are just really hard to come by, I find this league. Even when you pay for a good one, then you get sample size and they just don't do the job. So I've got a couple prospect starters that'll actually probably be my lefties. One of them's Tony Graham, who's got really good splits. He really does well against lefties. And then the other one is one of my top prospects, whose name's escaping me, Christian.
You have a guy named Christian Graham.
Yeah, that's it. I was like, I forgot they're the same name. So yeah. So then he might be one. And then I've got another prospect I bought that'll be a lefty, Gilbert Rowe. And then beyond that, it's really going to be like Tyler Pill, who's here because I had to pay for him, and kind of, I'll probably have a long man in there too, whoever doesn't make the starting rotation will be in there. But yeah, with the 26-man roster, I might go 13 pitchers. Typically when it was 25, I would only go 12 man. Yeah. I like to have.
So you already talked about some of your prospects and your better prospects. Do you see which ones do you see making the jump up to the major league level and contributing this year? I
mean, I think probably not many. If they're not on the 40-man, they probably won't get called up just because we have basically at that point I've got to ditch somebody because we're so overloaded with these guys I bought. Tyler, Pill, Rivera, Cruz, Tink Jones. So I'm kind of like, that's like 10% of my 40-man roster and like, I don't know, 12% of my 26-man roster just by guys like I kind of have to have. So, I mean, if you're not on the 40-man, you're probably not going to see much action. So both the Grahams will probably see action. Christian Graham's a top 100 guy. So, you know, he still needs work, but I'll probably get him in the bigs. And then Russo is probably the other big one. A lot of my prospects are still a ways away. I do have my best prospect, a starting pitcher, Colin Hurl, who just kind of really took off last year. I think he likes me more than the previous Giants GM. So he's really decided he wasn't a very high prospect when I started, but now I think he's 23rd or 25th or something like that. So he's in AAA, but he's not on the 40-man. So the odds of me, something would have to go sideways. Like, I don't know if I was contending somehow, like, yeah, maybe I'd throw him in there if he's been really good at AAA, but he kind of stunk at AAA last year. So I think he can go for a year there.
Yeah. And he still needs to work on that changeup.
Yeah. He's got things he can work on down there, you know, and I have plenty of options for now that can at least take up the innings, you know.
Right.
I mean,
and no need to rush him if you're not competing, right?
Yeah, exactly. The only way I could see him is if it's somehow like, you know, middle of July and I'm somehow like a couple games back of the wild card and he's doing really well in AAA, I might crack it open and, you know, see what he's got. But short of that, now he's spending the whole year in AAA.
Okay, good. So
yeah, but
so
everybody else, I mean, they're high A. Everybody else is like in high A level. They're nowhere near.
The future.
Yes.
So what do you expect out of the Giants this year?
I think we're going to be better. I don't think we're going to be absolute garbage. You know, like last year.
Like, are you talking about not losing 100 games? Or are you talking about being in the 70, 75 win? I mean, what would you consider better?
My goal would be 73 wins. If I could avoid 90 losses, I'd be really happy. You know, like that'd be like, all right, that's good progression. That'd be 12 wins, you know. So that's a good chunk. You do 12 wins this year, you do 12 wins next year. Now you're at 85 wins and you're actually competing for a playoff spot. So that'd be the goal. I mean, I don't know if we quite have enough pitching to actually do that. It's going to depend on some of these Villettes and Matzes, you know, depend on when Cozart exactly gets back. If he could get a setback and maybe doesn't pitch till August, you know, that's going to probably cost us, you know, some wins. So, you know, it depends on health. Right. I think offense will score. We're never going to be an amazing offense because of our park, but I think we'll score a few more runs. We're going to play good defense. We should be able to hold a lead. If we can just not fall behind, you know, 4-1 after 2 innings, I think we're going to be in a game, you know. So that's kind of the plan. Like stick around and maybe get lucky, and you never know.
Yeah. That's right. I mean, hey, it's a new year. Everybody's 0-0.
Yeah.
You never know what happens.
I mean, I kind of figured when I took over the Giants, this would be our worst year because I figured, all right, I'm going to have some guys kind of hanging around last year. I ended up getting rid of most of them, but I think we'll be better this year in the end. But I think it'll be the most boring year in a way because I pretty much used up all of them. I can't do another Torkelson trade. Like I just don't have the budget for that. So I'm not gonna be able to get too creative. It's gonna be like, hey, I have this veteran. Do you want him or not? Like basically it's as exciting as my trade blocks are gonna get.
Yeah. Well, you know, have $31 million available for extensions for next year. You've got a lot of money you have a lot of money coming off the books. So that brings up a question I always like to ask, and that is, where do you put your money? Do you put it into scouting and development, or are you going to put it into maybe getting another free agent to try to trade off at the deadline?
Right now, I'm fully, whatever the max is, was it 30 million and 18 million or whatever on scouting? I think I'm at the max. Let me see, scouting. Yeah, I'm at a full 30. And development full 30. So yeah, right now with this team, that's far more important, is to at least take the assets I have, but I might tweak it. I've got experience of teams that don't put anywhere near that in player development and maybe not hurting them, but it'd have to be a guy that's worth it. I've got one more free agent offer out there. I don't know if he's going to sign it. It's definitely a lowball offer, maybe, you know. But yeah, so I mean, right now I'm going to basically stock up money. I have, like you said, $30 million And a lot of my contracts are team options, so I could have a lot more. Like Cozart's got a team option that would save me like 7 million. Villette, Mats, there are a bunch of guys I probably will non-tender. Like Morales, I was on the fence for 3.5 million. I think his arbitration number right now is like 6 million. He better be really good this year if he wants 6 million next year from me.
Hey, but you know what? If he gets out of the gate hot, he might be a hot commodity in the trade market, and somebody may offer you, so.
Oh yeah.
Never hurt.
If anybody out there is looking to acquire veterans, please come knock on my door, because anybody I can deal. I mean, I certainly don't have a problem with it. I know a couple teams asked me about Rutherford, but the whole reason I have him is because there's no trade clause. So I don't know if that'll change once we start struggling. He might be like, you know what, I'll waive my no trade clause to get out of San Francisco.
Well, I reached out to Aiden as soon as I heard he was on waivers. I said, hey, Hayden, you want to trade? And he goes, I can't. He won't waive his no trade clause. He goes, so Heinz is getting them for free.
Yep. Well, I even asked, I was like, hey, like, I'm going to claim him anyways. He'll probably be mine. I said, like, do you want me to like send you a flyer or something just to wrap this up? Because I wanted him bad enough at that point. And he's like, you can't, you literally can't. Like, I was like, all right, sorry, pal.
Yeah. And you're like, good news for me.
Yeah.
So last year, the Detroit Tigers and the Cincinnati Reds took kind of a big step forward.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see a team capable of making that kind of a step forward, whether it's from, bottom of the league to like the middle, or from the middle to the top?
Yeah, let me pull up the standings from last year. One team that I know stood out for me for sure is the Royals. Chappie's a sly guy. He knows what he's doing. So he's one team for sure. And I know he signed Baker, he's added, I think, I know they were better than he thought last year. I think that's one team that could kind of slide into, hey, now I'm a playoff contender. I think your A's are going to be better for sure. As much as I hate it, and I hope we win more games than you, like, with the money with the additions you made, you better be better than me. So
this might be my 1 year better than you.
Yeah, this is you're just in such a hard division. It's tough to say. You have to see where the wins come from, right? Like, I think the Mariners are going to be worse. The Astros, I mean, who knows? Could be the same, maybe a little worse. 99 wins a lot. That's gonna be the hard part. Who's losing wins the game? So I'd say the AL, the Royals are my number one pick to click. The NL, I mean, it's tough to see. I mean, I can't think that the Mets are gonna be that bad again. Bruce is pretty darn consistent. I can't see him slipping further, but it's tough in the National League. So many teams won 80 games as it is. Like, just looking at 9 out of 15 won 80 games. So it's like, well, I'm one of the ones. I'm not going to win 80 games. The Pirates aren't going to win 80 games. Like, what teams? There aren't many teams left. The Padres. I mean, I don't know if the Padres have done anything. The Marlins haven't done anything. Like, the National League is pretty much. We don't have the high end, but we have your set of 80 win teams, and we have your set of 65 win teams. And I don't know if anybody's going to cross that border this year.
All right, Kansas City's been a pretty hot pick on that. How do you think the balanced schedule is going to affect things like that? Like, for instance, you're not going to have to play the Dodgers and the Rockies in Arizona nearly as many times as you did last year.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't remember what interleague. I think we had the Central last year is who we played. But I mean, I'm picking up games against the Angels, the Mariners, the Blue Jays. So I think it'll be interesting. I think it'll probably help the haves more than the have-nots. I think since there are more haves out there, I think they will play more have-nots now, and the have-nots will play more haves. And so I think it might actually, in a way, have an opposite effect where it maybe makes things a little wider for a little while, because it's nice. I won't have to play. Diamondbacks would pretty much sweep me just about every time. So, I mean, I guess I'll get swept by someone different, which will be a refreshing change, but
Well, maybe the A's will sweep me this year just for fun.
No, you did. We played last year. You did. I remember. I forgot who to look. I think we were 2-2 last year. I should have looked.
Something like that. I don't know if we play each other this year. I printed out the Oakland A's Major League schedule the other day.
Giants and A's always have to play. It'd be sacrilegious if they did.
Not in the. Oh, there they are. August 5th and 6th.
5th and 6th. I'll make sure that Cozart's back and nice and healthy for you.
Yeah, I would appreciate that.
That's if I haven't sold most of my players.
And then we play again. We play August 25th and 26th in San Francisco, and then August 5th and 6th in Oakland.
So you're going to get the Oakland or the August Giants, which are probably not going to be as strong as the April and May Giants. If I have my way, I will have less big league quality players by then. But I mean, who knows? I might not make many trades this year. It might be a year where I just kind of hang back. I'm not going to send guys off for free. So
there you go. Yeah,
it's going to depend on who actually performs.
So, what do you have a bold prediction for 2023? It doesn't have to be about the Giants. It could be about one player, about one team. What's your bold prediction?
Bold prediction. This one, I wouldn't be surprised if you've got a couple of these. This is the year a National League team is going to win the World Series.
You're not the first person to have said that.
It's got to happen for sure. I think that's probably just because it's so crazy, but I think that's probably the boldest I can go. I think other things I think there are teams that always make the playoffs that are going to have a harder time making the playoffs this year. Like I think the Mariners, I think they haven't done as much. I think it's not going to be a set it and forget it in May situation for them anymore. I think it's going to be like, they may still make the playoffs, but they may go into September with a 2-game cushion rather than a 10-game cushion, things like that.
Right.
I think Tampa Bay should finally make the playoffs. I would hope so. I can't imagine not at this point. Like if I was still there, I'd be dead red on making playoffs. So I got to figure that. But for Tampa Bay to go in, someone has to come out, so it's interesting. But yeah, the boldest is I think the National League finally wins. There's a lot of talent over there. And
do you want to predict which team it is?
Which team wins?
Yeah. Be bold. Let's pick one team.
I'm going one team. I got to go with the Diamondbacks. I got it. Brenton added Harper. I know that's amazing, but I don't know. Like the Diamondbacks were really good last year. They run differential was insane. I know they lost it. But they did win 2 games in the World Series. Like they didn't, a couple bounces here or there, they might have won last year. So maybe the Angels get upset. Maybe, the Diamondbacks are facing, the Blue Jays or something, or, who knows? I mean, it could be anything. So I'm going to go Diamondbacks for sure.
All right. That's a good pick. I mean, a lot of people are picking the Diamondbacks. I mean, they have a really good roster, but the Dodgers went and added Holtzen.
The Dodgers, the NOS is ridiculous. The Dodgers are going to be right there. I mean, I could also see them winning the West. They're tough. It's going to be. I mean, I think it's going to come down to health. Every team has a player that if this guy gets hurt, that's a problem.
And you just got to get into the tournament, right?
Yeah.
Once you get to the tournament, you have a chance. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Is there anything else that we haven't talked? Is there anything else that we haven't talked about that maybe you want to bring up or talk about or?
Trying to think. I mean, there's not much. We pretty much covered it. I think it's going to be a fun year. I'm looking forward to everybody getting back into it. That's always the saddest thing of the offseason is it's only not just not as much games, not as much chatter, just because there's not really anything to talk about. So I'm looking forward to. It's going to be a good season. We still have a great group of owners. I think we're going to be here and talking real trade analysis. You made a trade the other day, so I mean things are starting to pick up. I think.
Yeah.
We've got actual players on fields next week. So, I mean, I think that's going to be fun for everybody to finally, now that the stupid WDL and my horrible team is done, I stopped checking that. I ran the bonsai waves into the ground.
Now we just need to get those players back on our team so we can remember who we sent to the WDL.
Unfortunately, I remember the guys I sent because I was the GM and they were mostly pretty bad. But the whole team, I don't know, for some reason, my team all I did was, I just do it by plate appearances, but they lost they were 6-24 and lost every 1-run game they played in. It was amazing.
But you got 6 wins.
We got 6 wins. Exactly. We started like 1-15. It was pretty bad. And I actually it wasn't like I didn't export. I exported every day. Well, every game, But yeah, so yeah, it'll be nice to get some real games in there. I'm excited to see, how things work out, what the storylines are behind the year. Even just Brenton did a little 5-minute podcast the other day. It's like it's good to hear him back out there. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I just did this because Jim from Detroit did it last year, and I
Yeah,
thought people had a great time, and I enjoyed listening to all of them, and I wanted to see it continue, and then maybe next year you lead it.
maybe next year I'll do it. Maybe we can get into John Heinz's personal Zoom room and people could do it that way.
There
Maybe.
you go. Exactly. All the big bucks it costs to do that.
Yeah.
So at the end, what I've been doing is I've been asking people to introduce themselves, maybe what they do for a living, so we
All
get to
right.
know somebody a little bit better. And then, do you have like a trade block, or are you looking for something, for your
All
team?
right. Well, okay. Well, I'll start with the introduction. I'm John Heinz. I'm out in Fresno, California. For my job, I sell lovely promotional products, which is pretty much anything with a logo on it: hats, shirts, mugs, pens, pretty much you name it. I work with a lot of brands you've actually probably heard of. So yeah, that's what I do for a living. I really enjoy it. It keeps me very busy, but it's fun. You get to talk to people all day, which is my preferred thing to do. Trade block wise, not much. I mean, if someone wants to trade for Tink Jones, I would love it. But pretty much, I mean, I've got veterans. They will eventually be on the block. There's almost no point in trading them until we see how they're playing this year. But I mean, I'm always, if anybody has an idea or wants someone on my team, even who's not a veteran, I mean, you know me, I'll trade anybody at any time. I'm the guy who famously auctioned off his entire team one year. So I mean, I'm not against crazy ideas.
Yeah, and did you really took 10 people in the Rule 5 last year, didn't you?
I did. Took 10 people in the Rule 5 draft last year. I'm all for pushing the envelope. If you're going to do it big. If you're going to trade players, trade them all.
And how many of those 10 stuck with the team?
Like 7. Yeah, really. I kept most of them. Yeah, I mean, I got some of my best guys. I got Cam Martin, who's probably my best starter. I got 2 other like swingman, youngish, Peterson and Griffin. I got one of my starting catchers, Janchez. I got my second baseman guy, Mason Mack, and I think one other person who's, I'm looking at the list. I can't, but yeah. Oh, Hayashi. Yeah, he's my starting first baseman, right fielder. Yeah, so I mean, I think I ended up getting like 8 WAR out of the Rule 5 draft. So I mean, it's not bad. It's free. It's free.
And it only cost you like $500,000. No, it cost you $1 million, right? It cost $100,000 to get the person.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I got money. Money's no problem. The thing we didn't have is players. So yeah, it's fun, So now we're a little overloaded. So I don't know how many. I mean, most of those guys will stick around for a while, but it's fun. I like doing crazy things and seeing if they work.
Hey, never hurts to try, right?
Exactly.
All right, awesome. So I'm going to end it here. So I'm going to hit stop, and then we'll stay on and talk for a second.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, thank you for joining us, MLB Pro family. And this has been all about the Giants with John Heinz.
You're welcome.